Hello and welcome to another edition of Nice to Meet You, Union Athletics. This is Eric McDowell from the Union College Athletic Department, and thanks for joining us again here today. This is the show that tells you about the student athletes behind the scenes, off the softball diamond or off the playing arena. We talk about other things they're doing in the classroom, in the community, the extraordinary GPAs that they have, and the excellent work they're doing at Union College. And today we're very pleased to be joined by a softball player, a junior from Westfield, Massachusetts, Sarah Logan. Sarah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Biology major, your season as we tape this recently ended, but there's a lot of things to touch on with you, and I really want to start off with one of the most exciting things that you were able to do this year. You were selected as the student athlete to speak at Union's dinner that honored the 40th anniversary of Title IX, a landmark legislative piece of work from the government just 40 years ago. It's hard to believe. Tell me about your thoughts about that event, about Title IX, and you really did an excellent job, by the way.
Well, thank you very much. It was a huge honor, and to be able to speak at a dinner like that to represent all of my teammates and female athletes that I've played with in the past was something I couldn't have asked for. And to go after people like Mary Ellen Burt and women's basketball coach and Coach Julie Chu, who have just done unbelievable things with their athletic career, it was a huge honor, and I was pretty excited about it. And to have other student athletes there with me, it was good for them to see that. And it was just yesterday, so.
It really opened the door, Title IX, for women's athletics. Softball players at Union in their mid-70s would have to wear old baseball uniforms. They didn't have stats or websites, and so it is exciting nowadays, isn't it?
And it's only moving forward, and even just since I've started playing, the opportunities for me have increased, and I'm only 20 years old, so I can't imagine what will come in the next 40 years, and then the 40 years after that, and it's exciting. The future is exciting for female athletes.
It's wonderful. Now, Coach Gary Holtz has an extensive coaching history in the sport of softball, and you really looked as though you and your teammates enjoyed this season. And plus, Tiffany Ippoliti, one of the best pitchers we've ever had, is your pitching coach, and Michelle Connors comes over from Albany as an assistant. Talk about the coaching staff and the job they've done for you.
Yeah, the coaching staff was great. It was Coach Holtz's first year, so we all had to get to know him really quickly, but he knows the fundamentals through and through, and he was able to teach us really important things that I think got us to where we were this season. And speaking to Tiffany, she was an unbelievable pitcher in her day, and with so many pitchers on our pitching staff, it was great to have her be able to work with all of us differently. We all had different approaches and we threw different games, so she was great working with that. And then Coach Connors, coming newly out of college, she was a player that had unbelievable career statistics, both hitting and fielding, so she was the reason that our team hit so well this year. And being a new graduate herself, she could relate to the team dynamic and really knew how to fire us up as a team and really get us to where we had to be. All of them worked really great together, and they all played off of each other really well. We had great senior leadership, so it was a good dynamic.
It really was. Great staff. Now, I'd like you to tell us about your Union professors. And these are the professors who have helped you in your biology work through your 3 years now at Union, as well as the other academic experiences that you've had at Union College.
The professors have been great. I've tried, I have a major, obviously, and I've taken on 2 minors, so it's been a lot, but they've been great, and they're so awesome with sports. They'll let you reschedule labs, or they'll host makeup lectures if you have to miss something, and they'll come to me first before they even bring up a review session to see if I can be there. And so in season, they're awesome. And they've really pushed me to do the things in the classroom that I've done thus far. And I definitely wouldn't have been here if they hadn't pushed me. Professor Brian Cohen is a professor in the biology department. He works with molecular biology, and he's going to take me on this summer as a summer research student funded by a company called Nanotech. So I'll be working with him and them, and then that'll parlay straight into my thesis for all of next year, so he's been great. And Professor Stephen Horton, he's a genetics professor. He's one who's really pushed me into going to graduate school, and he's showing me, how to go about it, how to approach it now going into my senior year, and tips of what to do and what not to do. So they're really willing to push you because they know what you can do and they want you to get there.
It's a special place, isn't it, for them to have that one-on-one work with you.
Yeah,
it's really
great.
Amazing. Now, even with your work in the classroom and on the softball field, you have done wonderful things in the community. Specifically, talk to us about the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation and also the Boys and Girls Club in particular.
So the Juvenile Diabetes Foundation, my youngest sister was diagnosed in 2nd grade. It's 10 years ago now. So I really have to give the credit to my parents. They just took it on to be this unbelievable fundraising powerhouse, and they averaged $40,000 a year fundraising.
$40,000 per year.
Mm-hmm. I
Incredible.
think we started out at 28 and they're up to 60 something a year. So they're the leading family team fundraiser in Western Massachusetts and Connecticut every year for 10 years in a row. So we'll do anything and everything: golf tournaments, bake sales, craft sales, letter writing. My parents are great, and I just do what I can to support my sister. So that's brought my family really close. And then the Boys and Girls Club, when I walked onto the team my freshman year, there were 2 seniors, Tiffany being one of them, who worked really closely with those kids, and they bring them over to our field house, and we hold little fun days, and we teach them how to play softball. So they're just really good kids that want to get out and play, and I work specifically in the mentor program, so I go in and I help them make sure they do their homework and they know how to add, because they go there right after school, so if they don't do it there, when they go home they go to bed and then their homework doesn't get done. So it's a mix of work and play, but they're great kids, and they really look up to union students as leaders, so it's good to go in there and know that you're helping someone.
You're heroes. We see that with our student athletes locally. When they work with the young kids, they come, they see you, and it's really exciting for them to see you pitching, and also because they know you, they're connected, aren't they? Mm-hmm.
And they're all bright-eyed, and they come to our games. We have a Boys and Girls Club day, and they all get a certificate and a ball, and they just think it's the greatest thing in the world. And I remember being little and going to University of Massachusetts softball games, and I was the same way. So to be in those shoes now, it feels really good, and you want them to look up to you for all the good things.
Well, I hope in about 5 years I can bring my little Sarah. Sarah's a little younger than you, obviously, but our Sarah's only 1 year old, and we look forward to getting her out to the games, too, because you are the heroes to the young people in the area. Now, you have done some research in your major with visits to both Alaska and Australia. A lot of frequent mileage there. We'd like to hear more about that.
So in Alaska, I did a union mini-term, and I went out there the summer after my freshman year, and I actually studied outside of my major. I studied geology, which was something I didn't know if I was interested in, but it was awesome. We stayed out there for 4.5 weeks. We lived in tents. We were really out there with the bears and the moose, and so we were working on geology and the before and afters of the huge events out there, the earthquakes, and everyone knows Alaska is on the fault, so that was great. And then I switched gears and went out to Australia on a term abroad. I studied terrestrial and marine ecology. So out there, our classroom was the Great Barrier Reef, and we went to the rainforest and we looked at how the ecology has stayed the same and has changed. And on such an old continent, it's awesome to see how things have changed. Then I headed to New Zealand.
A little better than a textbook, isn't it? You're right there.
A little more exciting. Then after Australia, I headed to New Zealand and studied geology again. So after all of their recent earthquakes in Christchurch, which a lot of people know about, and I believe it was 2008, it's cool and sad to see what's happened out there. But you're right in it. It's a great classroom.
The experiences you can get from Union to be able to bring you all over the world. Did you see this coming when you came? You heard about Union College, but could you ever envision what you've been able to accomplish here in just 3 years?
No, I never saw it coming, and people always told me, oh, you got to take advantage of everything. And I'm like, yeah, sure, guys. But I really feel like I have, and everything that I've done, I've been so thankful for. And I mean, I've traveled the world. I'm going somewhere else next year. Hopefully I'll head out to India. So we'll see what I can do. And it's a great place.
Well, Sarah, congratulations on all your accomplishments, and best of luck in your senior year. It's hard to believe you're going to be a senior already, but
I don't want to believe it.
It does fly by. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you.
And we thank you for watching. It was nice to meet you, Sarah Logan, and nice to meet you, Union Athletics. Join us for our next show when we bring another extraordinary student athlete right here into your home. Thanks again for watching.